So, good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to start the topic of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, for the mains, and then we will look into the prelims. First of all, before starting the lecture, I want to tell you that how we will be proceeding for the prelims. Many students had that query in their mind that about prelims, sir, how we will be covering the course. Okay, because we cover everything into our Shunya magazine. Okay, we cover everything into our Shunya magazine. Therefore, what I'll be doing is, for example, we are starting with May current affairs. Okay, May current affairs. May month you will find there we have divided all the news items into different topics. For example, environment, international relations, economic development. So what we'll be doing is on the weekly basis, certain important topics of that particular month I'll be discussing so that you can have a thorough revision from the magazine later on. Got the point? Got the idea line how we'll be revising it? Okay. And for the mains, because one topic to be covered holistically, and after that one or two news items will be there. You can add either into the challenges or into the objectives or into the new meetings. For example, why SEO is extremely important for us. Anyone? Why SEO is important for us for the mains? Why? Because SEO you people would have read definitely. Second attempt, third attempt, you people are there. Okay. Why it is important for this year? Something happened in SEO. China is a member of it. That is fine. China had been the founding member of it. That is fine. Because right now in 2023, India is the chair of SEO. India is having the chair of SEO. Therefore, it becomes very important for us. Point is, in this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, of course, prelims facts you would be knowing, okay? We will be discussing about what is the importance of this block. What is the significance specifically with respect to India? What are the challenges? Because till now, what we have been understanding, because we studied G20, every one of you were there in the class G20. Okay, we understood the perspective how global geopolitics is changing. It is changing from, multilateral to plurilateral to minilateral. What has happened and how it has shaped the things. In the SEO also, we will understand what changes are, what dynamics are changing over there. Okay, so let's start. Shanghai Cooperation Organization, give the headings and write down 2023. In 2023, India will be the chair and host. India will be the chair and host of SEO. In 2022, 22nd summit of SEO held in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Therefore, just in bracket write Samarkand Declaration. In brackets write Samarkand Declaration. Okay, now understand. Let's understand one thing. Where does India lie on the map? South Asia. India is in South Asia. Okay. This point you need to understand. From here, understanding begins. Right now, the global geopolitics is changing as it always has been. World is divided into two camps. World is divided into two camps. You will understand right now. One camp is US, Europe. Another camp is Russia, China. Okay. One camp is US, Europe. There, what kind of policies are coming? Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, their Quad. Whereas Russia, China, you are finding SEO. They are cooperating in Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, these two camps are divided. Basically, they have faulty lines. These two camps are divided. They have faulty lines. Excuse me? You have got the handouts? Okay, okay. These two camps are divided. Now, what is happening? You will find that, like, about SEO, let me tell you. Okay, these handouts, we have formed a group also. These handouts will be uploaded there also, so that if anybody is not getting, into the class handout, they will get it printed later on. Okay. So first of all, I am asking you a question: is SEO a military organization? It's not a military organization. Please remember for your prelims examination, SEO is not a military organization. But what happens? थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाना है यहाँ पे. I want your focus here to understand. I will make you write everything. Don't worry. Just understand right now. It is not a military organization. But how global geopolitics is working? This block is saying that SEO is Asian NATO. NATO, you all understand? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's a military organization. Therefore, this block is saying that SEO is an Asian NATO. It means it's a military organization. You people are preparing a military organization to counter the Western camp. Okay. Whereas Russia, China, this grouping is saying that Quad is called as Eastern NATO. They are saying it as Asian NATO. They are saying it as Eastern NATO. You will understand that India cannot become a member of NATO. Why India cannot become a member of NATO? Because all the countries which are in the territory, that countries can only become the latest member in the NATO. Finland. It's Finland, not Sweden. Finland. NATO is also important for your prelims examination. Okay. Till here you understood what is happening. Till here you understood what is happening. Okay. Now, here few crucial points. Just understand, feel. I want you to have the feel of the point why we are discussing SEO. Right now, Russia-Ukraine crisis is happening. Okay. Food, fuel, fertilizer. 3F problems is there. Food. Why food problem? Ukraine, the belt of Ukraine is the steppes. Wheat production is, amazingly high over there. Right now, because wheat was being exported from India, too much wheat was being exported from India, therefore India has to put a curb on the wheat export itself, floor export, basically. So 3F problem we are looking at. Food. Why fuel? Russia. And fertilizer also? Because of Russia-Ukraine crisis. Okay. Now this grouping is extremely important for India. This grouping is extremely important for India because this challenge is India needs to answer. Right now, India is at the top pedestal of global leadership. And India wants to solve these problems also. On one hand, we are focusing on Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today, we will look into certain government schemes also. Like we want to be Atmanirbhar, not just in space, but in defense also. Okay. Here, the significance for India about the SEO is that India needs Russia to counterbalance China. We have seen that China is rising through BRI, Belt and Road Initiative projects, debt trap diplomacy. Okay. but we need Russia to balance China. Okay. We need China also. Why we need China? To contain Pakistan. Because China is supporting Pakistan from the back door. This is called diplomacy. This is called diplomacy. Getting this point? Now, fuel. Fuel means what? Why do we need fuel? Fuel is needed for the energy. The world is going through an energy dilemma. Therefore, we need energy diplomacy. What is energy dilemma or energy diplomacy? Because ultimately, why we are looking for fuel towards Russia? It has a lot of gas reserves, oil reserves, but that is fossil based, non-renewable. Dilemma is about choosing one or the other. Okay. On one hand, we are talking about electric vehicle mobility plans. On the other hand, we are choosing fuel from Russia, energy dependency on Russia. So for that, what we need? We need diversification of the energy basket. We need diversification of the energy basket. Therefore, we cannot ignore Russia, we cannot ignore China over here. As soon as India got the membership of SCO, Pakistan also got. This is how diplomacy is working at that global center stage. You've understood why SCO is important for us right now? Perspective you got? There is one allegation over Russia right now, being a permanent member of UNSC. Being a permanent member of UNSC, it is showing aggression towards its neighborhood, Ukraine. Whereas the objective of United Nations is to promote peace and prosperity. Therefore, to bring Russia on the table to talks, the role of India is about bridging the gap between Eastern camp and Western camp. You find that on the table of SCO, India is there to bridge the gap between these two camps. The role of India is about bridging the gap between these two camps. How we will be bridging? Although India is far away, just understand, I'll make you right. Although India is far away from the US and Europe geographically, but by our liberal democracy, we are very near to them. By the principles of liberal democracy, we are very near to US and Europe. Geographically, we are very close to Russia and China, but we are far away from the democratic principles, what they are abiding, what we are abiding. You're understanding? Therefore, India can act as geographically we are near to Russia and China. We can bring democratic principles to Russia and China. We can help them build these principles in a better manner. Therefore, we are showing closeness to them. On the other hand, because they already understand, India believes in the liberal democracy, values of free and fair trade, not distorted trade. Like World Trade Organization, it benefited Asian countries, Russia, China, it benefited the most. Therefore, right now we are seeing a retreat from the globalization. Now India is saying that I am the new guru of globalization. We will tell you how to globalize the world by multi-alignment. By multi-alignment. One more perspective. What has happened that during the Cold War era, world was divided into bipolar world. Everyone knows that. Even before the preparation also, we were knowing that it was a bipolar world. Okay. On one hand, we were seeing US, another side we were seeing USSR. Okay. Now, in this time of bipolar, India followed which policy? Non-alignment movement. There is always a question. देखो एक चीज समझना है. You need to understand one thing. See, we are not going to deal topic in silos. Topics are mostly interlinked. These are the concepts that if you understood very well, you can replicate into different types of questions that are coming in the examination. Okay, what I am doing is I'm making you understand how to interrelate and interlink topics. And while writing mains answer, this kind of depth is expected from you. Just writing two, three more facts, one example, it doesn't make any difference over there. Examiner is very well an expert into that domain. Okay, if you bring these arguments only, then only they will understand, okay, you have got very, because international relations, you will find 4 questions in your mains examination. 4 questions definitely will be there, and they are very scoring. Because what happens mostly in GS2, you will find that many of the toppers are saying less marks we are getting. GS1, they are able to score very well. GS3 also is very scoring. But what about the GS2? Polity and governance, we all had been studying. Polity and governance, we all had been studying. But when it comes to international relations, many of the students, because in your static portion, you do not read about international relations. It's mostly through current affairs. Am I right? So what happens that in the international relations, you don't find a solid organized understanding of the topic. Therefore, in the mains answer writing, we lack. Generally, international relations, we study for prelims perspective. What has happened, what new things have happened, places in the news, somewhere civil war is going on, we will get to know that. But here understand how things have shaped it. Just by the end of this USSR, in 2001 itself, SCO was formed. Shanghai Cooperation Organization was formed. It was led by China itself, Russia also. After bipolar, world became multipolar. Today we are in multipolar world. In the times of bipolarity, we chose non-alignment movement. In times of multipolarity, what we need to choose? Multi-alignment. Use this word multi-alignment in your examination. It was used by recently Jay Shankar in his book also, multi-alignment. It was coined, this word was first time coined by Shashi Tharoor. Multi-alignment. This is about foreign policy right now, India. We are multi-aligning ourselves with different blocks. I'll make you look into it, how we are aligning with different blocks. Understand. Now, China, about China, let's see precariously what China is doing. The Central Asian region, you know, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, okay. So into the Central Asian region, it wants to create inroads. It wants to build inroads because they are rich in mineral deposits. To secure its future, they are rich in mineral deposits, CAR, we call it Central Asian region. Therefore, most of the Central Asian region countries are part of it. India also wants to have a diplomacy with Central Asian region. Why India should not be sitting on the same table with China as well as Russia and Central Asian countries? Getting the point? Therefore, India is very much interested into Shanghai Cooperation Organization. One of the points that was important for your prelims also, you can definitely write in your mains to substantiate that one of the declarations, Samarkand Declaration outcome is that Varanasi became the cultural capital. Varanasi became the cultural capital of SCO. Varanasi became the cultural capital of SCO. Okay, write down. In the G20 communique, in the G20 communique, COMMUNIQUE. G20, in the G20 communique, Prime Minister said, in the quotes you will write, this isn't an era of war. This isn't an era of war, comma, but is an era of 3 Ds. 3 Ds. That is democracy, diplomacy, and dialogue. Democracy, diplomacy, and dialogue. Now understand, if I have given you this sentence, what Prime Minister said, please remember this. You can use it anywhere, that how India's foreign policy is being formed. We will study about UNSC reforms also. We'll study about India's foreign policy as well. But India is talking on the global stage that this is not a time of war, but this is a time of dialogue, diplomacy. Right now, Russia has been isolated by the whole world. US is against Russia. Even to that extent, sanctions have been made on the Russia. There you will find that how India is aligning with the countries with respect to the self-interest. What India will do with Russia? If US has sanctions over Russia, what India will go and do with Russia? What India will have that dialogue? See, every crisis presents some opportunities for us in the foreign policy. In this foreign policy, no one is permanent friend, no one is permanent foe. Here what happens, India and Russia are talking about de-dollarization. Therefore, de-dollarization was a lot of in this news. Okay. Loro account, Vostro account, Nostro account. For prelims, some students would have read about it. Okay, what they are. We'll look that thing also sometimes later. Okay. So 3Ds. Now use these 3Ds anywhere. My point is, it's not just about SEO. Here I am talking about 3Ds, what PM said, because he said specifically with respect to Russia-Ukraine crisis, and that can be solved on the table of SEO, because here Russia is a bigger stakeholder. Okay. Similarly, when we were studying about, we were talking about G20, there I said to you that right now, because India is the host, India is the chair in G20 also, India has good relations with Russia in SEO. Therefore, India can bring Russia on the same table to talk. Okay. Now, right perspective, second perspective, global energy politics. Energy dilemma dash energy dilemma arrow, then you'll write energy diplomacy. Energy diplomacy. Then solution, you write solution. Energy diversification along with energy politics. You write example. Fossil-based energy versus lithium and batteries. Now write, SEO grouping was established by China. SEO grouping was established by China after disintegration of USSR. Comma, China is now looking for inroads China is now looking for inroads into Central Asian region, CAR, into Central Asian region. Therefore, China is focusing on neighborhood and extended neighborhood. China is focusing on neighborhood and extended neighborhood. In the brackets you write who are the members. Basically you write members. Russia, China, India, Pakistan. You can write Russia, China, India, Pakistan plus CAR. Plus CAR, Central Asian Republic, except Turkmenistan. Except Turkmenistan. Except Turkmenistan. Why Turkmenistan has not been member of SCO? Anyone? Why Turkmenistan is not member of SCO? Understand and write down. Turkmenistan follows principle of neutrality. Just like we had non-alignment movement, it has a principle of neutrality. It will not join any kind of such groupings. Okay. Now, Afghanistan and Mongolia are observer states. Afghanistan and Mongolia are observer states. %40 population, because we always see that what it reflects. SCO reflects 40% population and 30% global GDP. 40% population, 30% global GDP. Understood till here? Everyone understood who are the members of SCO? Okay, because mostly for India, it's an energy diplomacy over there, and we are showcasing, okay, we can share that values, but it is extremely difficult to share these liberal values with China. China is economically far ahead of us. We always say that in the interview, UPSC interview, sometimes these questions have been asked that, do you think they will lure you into such questions in the UPSC interview? One of my friend was giving interview, the board member asked that, do you think in the coming times, India can take over China? Just think about it once. India can take over China. And, in the newspapers, the journalists write, in a very jingoistic language. Okay. The elephant cannot dance with the dragon. You understand this metaphor, symbols. Here, elephant represents India. Dragon represents China. The elephant cannot dance with the dragon. This is how they write. Okay. Point is, it will be very tempting for you to say, yes, India will take over China in the coming future. You can express many policies over there. But there you have to practically understand the difference between the GDPs. Okay, it is not easy for us to take over China in the coming future. Certain structural reforms are required into our policy making, right? Because what we are always talking about, this is what this practical understanding is expected from you. China has already weaponizing, it has already been weaponizing the value chain. World's strongest value chain system and manufacturing powerhouse is China. Very soon, in the coming times, we are not able to take over China. But yes, strategically speaking, if I talk about strategically speaking, because right now, world is not just looking for efficient productions. See, how will you take stand? How will you make that opinion over there? From here only, because news will be coming with respect to SEO. How will you develop that stance on that? Okay, because in the SEO, whatever be the question in your mains examination, they will give, different kinds of questions. What will be your stand? India cannot take over its economic prowess, but yes, strategically, India is more important for both the camps, Western camp as well as Eastern camp. India can act as a fulcrum. You're getting my point? Therefore, you can defend India in that manner, but not economically. Now write down the objectives. What are the objectives of SEO? First objective is strengthen the relationship. Strengthen the relationship. This objective makes the mockery of global geopolitics. Why? Who are the members? Just look at them. China, Russia, Pakistan, India. Now you see here. And these things you can write in the diagrammatic format also. When India is coming close to China, the problem is created by Pakistan becomes more closer to China. How we can strengthen that relationship? Okay. Now, when India is coming close to Russia, then China is blocking Russia. Don't come close to India because both of them are communist countries. They have better relations. China has been backing Russia in the whole Ukraine-Russia crisis. Okay, so this is a mockery of the point, but still the objective is about strengthening the relationship. Okay. Second point, cooperation in economic, trade, climate change, etc. Here you can bring it on, like all the GS3 topics you can write. Cooperation in tourism, whatever you can write over there. Okay. Next point, safeguard regional peace and security. Safeguard regional peace and security. Then create democratic, equitable world order. Then you write about rats here in the objectives. They have rats also, regional anti-terrorist squad, rats. Regional anti-terrorist squad. Now you understand that Pakistan has been a perpetrator of terrorism, what India is always saying on the global stage. Okay, state-sponsored terrorism. India and Pakistan, we are talking about strengthening relationship to fight terrorism. But we have to talk about it. And what we are finding that it is a better platform for India to engage with Pakistan for the anti-terrorist activities, to curb the menace of terrorism. RATS mechanism, where is the headquarter of RATS? Tashkent. Tashkent headquarter. The objective is to fight three evils. Tests. Three evils. Objective of RATS is to fight three evils. Terrorism. T means terrorism. Extremism. And separatism. Terrorism, extremism, and separatism. See, in your examination, when the question will be there, right now I'm going in detail. I'm giving you all the points in the, making you write everything so that you remember also. By writing also, students memorize something. In the examination, you will not get enough space or time to write all the objectives. Just in the keywords I have made you write these points. If you'll open the website, you'll find long objectives over there. What happens that you will understand, at least you understand the paradox of strengthening relationship. This has been an objective of it. So what we can do, we can use it as an argument in the examination. One of the objectives is about strengthening relationship, but this is the problem. You're understanding how you're going to use it in the examination. Because right now, while making notes, it's 4-5 pages notes, but their answer is expected in 1.5 or maximum 2 pages. How you're going to condense that information, making it relevant to the particular question. Okay. Strategic importance. सबसे most important is about Central Asian region, what I had been talking about. China is, here China is also eyeing at the Central Asian region. Therefore, the politics is going on. So, strategic importance, first point you write. Eurasian politics grouping and economic security. Eurasian political grouping and economic security. Second point is countering West. Second point is countering West. Because Western groupings are dominated everywhere, they have a hegemony all around there. Therefore, through the SEO, they are countering West. What basically they are countering? West dominated Quad they are countering. Because Quad is functioning like that. Third point you write, SEO allows India to pursue its foreign policy, that is multi-alignment foreign policy. Multi-alignment foreign policy. Fourth point is SEO has two permanent members of UNSC having right to vote. Two permanent members of UNSC having right to vote. There are nuclear weapon states. Example, Russia, China, India. Pakistan also you can write. There are nuclear weapon states. Examples you have written. Bracket me you write military powerful. Although it's not a military grouping. Military powerful, although it's not a military grouping. One objective, in the objectives we have talked about security. Okay, then understand rats we have, but we also have golden crescent. Organized crimes are happening, drug cartels are happening. Therefore, security wise powerful due to rats mechanism. Security wise powerful due to rats mechanism. Full stop. Global crime rates arising from golden crescent, arising from golden crescent fueling organized crime, fueling organized crime needs to be addressed. Sixth point to write about connectivity. ठीक है, understand about connectivity. On one hand, we are very much apprehensive about the development of Belt and Road Initiative of China. We are very much apprehensive. We are thinking why China is, making these things and just to export their goods, to find out the markets. India has not joined BRI. But for the regional connectivity, it is actually a good thing. For regional connectivity, it is actually a good thing. Just you understand, on one front, we are saying that regional connectivity should not be promoted because it will be dominated by the China. But when you will, because we are living here in India, we are thinking from our own lens, from our own perspective. But if you look at the regional perspective, the regions will be connected. Who knows the trade routes will be better used by which country? You are understanding the point? Therefore, at least SEO will provide us the market, futures market, tomorrow's market. Therefore, we cannot ignore BRI into that. Right now, what is happening that India is not joining BRI, but through BRI, Pakistan and whole of this regions are being connected. Therefore, India can get the benefit of their connectivity tomorrow. Understood? Okay, write down. Lot of scope lot of scope for trade and investments if connectivity is improved through China-led BRI. Through China-led BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, thereby improving trade. Next point to understand, CAR, Central Asian region, it is rich. Understand, I'll make you right. CAR, we had been talking about mineral resources. It is rich in most of the raw materials, which are called as input goods. Input goods. Okay. So we can tap in this input goods market, raw materials market over here. This is our objective. And for that, China has been looking to make the inroads into Central Asian region, and India is also looking to make inroads into Central Asian region for that matter. Like lot of uranium deposits are there. We need for our nuclear projects. India has been working very hard to utilize thorium. We have a lot of thorium deposits. We are working very much hard to utilize that thorium. If that technology is achieved, just like ISRO, we are doing very well over there into space. If that technology is achieved, just like data, electricity will be the cheapest in the entire world for India. But right now, we want uranium from Central Asian regions. For that, we want to talk on that table. Write down. The region has input goods. The region has input goods like fuel and energy. The challenge is most of the CAR countries are landlocked. Therefore, they have dependency on other countries for trade. This is for your information, you can write down. Basically, CAR countries are called as energy clubs. Energy clubs. And we want to hold on to this energy club because uranium or all these minerals will provide us clean energy. Will provide us clean energy. A source of clean energy from CAR. For you are writing, these are energy clubs. Clean energy, and from Russia we are having fossil based energy. So both the demands are being complemented into the same grouping for India. From SEO only, we have energy relations with Russia to get fossil based energy, and we have relations with CAR for clean energy. Okay. Now, you write it down in your own words. After that, the next point is about SEO. We are writing it into the SEO, but understand this point is extremely important when it comes to India-Pakistan relations also. On the sidelines, basically SEO talk is happening, just like G20 is happening right now. You know, G20 is happening, and there had been news yesterday only. It had been the news that might be Jinping would not be traveling to India. There will be a video premiere of him. This is called boycotting. You understand? This is called diplomacy, because it has been led by India right now. India is the global leader. Therefore, China cannot come and sit and watch our Prime Minister giving speeches. Yes. So what is happening is, they are, in a way, they are saying that somewhere Jinping would be busy or he might not be attending the event. What is happening? B20 meet happened. B20, you understand? Achha, about G20, let me tell. How many of you are fresher students? Fresher. It means that first attempt. Okay. In the very beginning of class, one student asked me the question on the lighter note, sir, बहुत न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ा हूँ मैं सर, मैं एम स्टडिंग वेरी हार्ड, मतलब these days. सर मुझे समझ में नहीं आया, one topic that is regularly coming in the news but I'm not able to understand. मतलब what is it? मतलब. And when he asked the question, even I was shocked that I also don't know. I am reading newspapers daily. I also don't know. He asked me, sir, what is G2O? Sir, what is G2O? I was shocked. G2O, matlab, I had not been reading G2O any time in the newspaper. It is G20. It was not G2O. So this happens with the students that, okay, they showed a lot of dedication, but you know, they don't understand the perspective. G2O, what is G2O? It is not H2O. It is G20. Okay. So point is, work hard. The smartest work will not be done without working hard. You need to work hard. But the point is, be strategically very smart. If you are putting, in the beginning of the class itself, I told you, if you are spending 2.5 hours here, it should be counted in your preparation. If you are not, It is just by sitting here like for 2.5 hours and then again replicating the same thing from somewhere else, then from somewhere else. It's a waste of time. Okay, if you are putting time over here, I am, you know, because after a lot of preparation, students are, when they are, the deserving students are not clearing the examination, the reason is that they have not yet focused. Focused means what I see, simply understand, if we go and do the mining work, how we do that mining work? We don't mine at the 5 places simultaneously. We focus on one mine and dig deeper inside. Okay, similarly, right now, if you are spending 2.5 hours over here, you are getting the handouts, you are getting the dictations, you are making your own notes, handwritten notes. Please revise it. By revising, I mean to say that, it should be such that you understand the concept so well that it is by heart to you, it is imbibed in you, that tomorrow you are using these concepts somewhere else in the questions. If you are not able to do that, if you are not able to build over it by doing the regular revisions, then this is also useless. Understanding my point? And I'm always there whenever any kind of doubt is there with respect to current affairs or anything. Come, we'll sit, we'll talk it out, what is happening, what is not happening. Okay, my point of giving you this G2O thing was that in the beginning we are full of energy, because this is, right now August ending, September starting, we are like, yes, I can do this, I can do that, and I can, study for very long things. But as December comes in, January comes, then prelims, fever of prelims starts. And then what happens? Just like online gaming, it becomes a game of chance, not a game of skill anymore. So just focus and keep revising. Okay. So the next point is about on the sidelines, write down on the sidelines, bilateral talks on the sidelines, bilateral talks between India and Pakistan, mediated by China, can help improve the relations. Can help improve the relations. Two camps we have discussed. Okay, in the exam you can make this diagram also, just like India and SCO. If this is India, here we are having SCO, China led SCO, US led Quad, and here IPEF. Here India is also having a diplomatic talks with Iran, which has been boycotted by US, and Saudi Arabia. And here you can give, just like what diagram you have drawn is multi-alignment. By India, multi-alignment by India. Eastern Economic Forum. democratic countries, autocratic countries. And here you will write, what you can do is, apart from this diagram also, you can write down democratic countries, autocratic countries. I'll show you how you will be doing it. For example, you can write like this: democratic countries, okay, autocratic countries, it will be bridged by India. It could be China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, democratic countries you know already. So this diagram you can always draw that India can bridge this gap between them. Basically, why do we find India at the cusp spot that it can bridge this gap? Why do we think so? Just because we are a democratic nation. Just because we are a democratic nation, we are thinking. Because we are neutral. Okay, okay. See, there is called as cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect relationship, always that happens. See, because we are part of both the grouping, that gives us an opportunity, but not the capability. You get my point? This, why, while we are drawing this, it gives us the opportunity to work between these two groups simultaneously. But where is the capability? What thing is giving India that capability? This is what you said is opportunity for us because we are working with both of them. Okay, what is giving the capability for India? That you can say that India has been already the largest democracy. We have worked with coalition governments with common goals. Okay, what is happening with respect to this autocratic countries? They cannot be they cannot work like democracy at all right now. Jinping has been authoritarian. Okay, even Russia, Putin has been authoritarian. Whereas here, democracy is flourishing. Here also, there is president's rule. We all know that presidential form of government is there, not prime ministerial form of government. So coalition politics in the largest democracy, India, it is flourishing. Therefore, it gives us the capability to showcase that on the international stage. What is happening inside our country, we can showcase it outside also. Okay, so write down. Multi-alignment you have written. We are able to work with coalition of democracy and coalition of common goals to bridge the gap, to bridge the gap between the two camps, to bridge the gap between the two camps. To bridge the gap between two camps. Okay. What are the challenges? The first challenge is Russia-Ukraine conflict. See, do in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, understand? If you have understood, एक बार समझ में अगर आ गया ना, if you have understood it, you can write it in your own language also. हुआ क्या during the Russia-Ukraine conflict in simple terms, in the layman terms, I am telling you, what has happened? Russia got the support of China. Both of them are autocratic and communist countries. Both of them will support each other because they are geographically also close. And China is already against Western dominance, US dominance. Therefore, China is definitely going to support Russia. Okay. For India, the problem was, challenge is, actually, India needs Russia to counterbalance China. Basically, India needs Russia to be against China. You are getting my point. Whenever India is having threat from the China at the Arunachal border, Doklam issue, then we need Russia to counterbalance China. But what is happening? Because of this conflict, Russia and China have come closer. This is not good for us per se. Because tomorrow, if there is two-front war, like from Pakistan side as well as from the China side, it will be difficult for us to maneuver over there. Understood the point? What has been the issue? So write down. Russia-Ukraine conflict leading to Russia-China deepen relationship. Leading to Russia-China deepen relationship. A new nexus of P2. A new nexus of P2. P2, you understand? Permanent 2. P5 members are there in UNSC. China and Russia both are the part of that club. Therefore, a new nexus of P2 is coming up. Where India needs Russia to counterbalance China. This is leading to a new quad. This is leading to a new quad. Russia, China, Pakistan, and Iran. All of them coming together. देखो पाकिस्तान का तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. Reason being, Pakistan has been part with the US also. F-16 they have bought from US. Now they are also aligning with the China. They are also aligning with the Russia. So I am not going to comment on the original status of Pakistan. You cannot say tomorrow things might change. Okay. Some people even claim that Pakistan might not be a state tomorrow. Even it's into its own bubble, economic bubble right now. This is a new quad or called as Chinese quad. Write down Chinese quad. The Chinese quad. And this could be a challenge for India. Understanding why this is a challenge. This is a new quad and this could be a challenge for India because India is having a different quad altogether with US. Hope you understood the concept, how this new quad was being formed because China and Russia got closer because of this conflict. Generally in the challenge, what we write in the examination is, because of Russia-Ukraine conflict, world is suffering from food, fuel, fertilizer. These are the issues. But what is the challenge for India? Because India doesn't want at any cost Russia coming very close to the China. And that is happening because of the issue. Okay, second point. SEO is China owned, China led. China owned, China led. So China will promote its own interest against India's interest. Its own interest against India's interest. Next point, you write like this. Now, Asian NATO. Okay. You'll find that China is telling that Quad is the Asian NATO. This is a challenge for us because for India, I am speaking about challenges not per se for the whole of the SEO, but for India. What are the challenges of India's engagement? In the very first, in the beginning, we have seen that how India's engagement with the SEO is helpful for us. What is the strategic importance? Why we should be on the same table talking to them? Right now, we are seeing India is part of SEO as well as Quad. But China is saying that Quad is Asian NATO. This is said by China. Whereas Western countries or US is saying that SEO is the Asian NATO. India's situation is how to counterbalance both these arguments. It is hanging in between somewhere. Okay, got this point? You write down Asian, NATO, Quad, China. And after that you write, this is leading to, after you have written this NATO, this is leading to trust deficit. This is leading to trust deficit. Russia is skeptical about I'm just talking about more trust deficit points. This is one trust deficit with respect to India. Now, this SEO people are thinking that India is part of Quad and sitting between us. This person is a rat. Rat, you understand? Okay. Whereas SEO people are thinking rat. Whereas Quad is thinking that why India is going and sitting in the groupings of SEO. This is a trust deficit. Nobody is trusting India. For us, although we are saying we are into the era of multi-alignment, we are engaged with all the parties, but no party is valuing us. No party is actually trusting us. They all are saying that you belong to everyone. You're not sure about your accurate alignment with the particular groupings, with the particular interests. Okay, next trust deficit. Understand what is happening that even Russia is a bigger power. Russia one time it was having direct clash with the US. That time there was no China factor. Right now, somewhere Russia is also thinking China, it did not have any kind of development. Right now, China is making BRI and making inroads even in Russia. Therefore, Russia was also skeptical about the BRI project. There is a trust deficit there also, although they have come closer right now because of the present situation. But there had been a trust deficit between Russia and China also. Therefore, you write, Russia is skeptical about inroads. In the bracket, you can write BRI. Inroads, bracket, you can write BRI. In Central Asian region by China. One more point is there, if anybody can tell me. If anybody can tell me one more point of trust deficit. Central Asian region, China, Russia. These are the three key players. Disintegration of USSR. Anybody is having elder sibling? Elder sibling. Only two people. एल्डर सिबलिंग। तो कभी मार पड़ी है? यू हैव बीन ऑलवेज स्केप्टिकल कि अगर मैं कुछ गलती कर दूंगा तो पता चला फिर से मार ना दे, भाई या बहन जो भी है, एक डर तो रहता है ना। सिमिलरली, व्हाट अदर CAR नेशंस, सेंट्रल एशियन रीजन्स, इनके बड़े भैया हैं रशिया। They had earlier been part of Russia. They are skeptical that if inroads are made into CAR, now Russia might again come, just like Ukraine, and claim that now you are my territory. Now you are my territory. Therefore, there is a trust deficit between CAR and Russia also. What you said was correct. Understood? So write down Russia's expansionist policy. Russia's expansionist policy is instilling a fear. Is Russia's expansionist policy. Russia's expansionist policy is instilling a fear in CAR, in Central Asian region, because previously they were a part of USSR. Because previously they were a part of USSR. Another challenge is, one of the objectives and significances we have talked about, okay, through BRI connectivity can be improved, but challenge is lack of connectivity. We don't have that kind of connectivity. Landlocked countries are over there. So even if we are talking about it, for example, if you go and talk to a person, you find that difficult to understand any kind of concept, and then can you advise the person, you prepare for UPSC? You'll find it extremely difficult. If the person starts preparing right now to understand the concepts, it might take 3-4 years. Then you will not suggest the person to even start the preparation of UPSC. Similarly, you should invest your energies, the projects, the funds, the investments into those areas where you can find faster ROI, return on investment. But this area lacks connectivity. It is not feasible for India to invest money and develop connectivity and get the investment back. Okay, so write down lack of proper connectivity dash. India criticized, one point we are giving, India criticized Pakistan for not giving transit route to India, Connectivity only through Chabar port and Bandar Abbas port. Connectivity only through Chabar port and Bandar Abbas port. Now here only on the sidebars for your own reference, you write about some things on the side notes. Now, if you are talking about connectivity, understand, if I can take whole lecture on only connectivity in South Asia and Central Asian region. This topic is so important, and questions has also been asked by the UPSC. One thing you write, INSTC, International North-South Transit Corridor. INSTC, International North-South Transit Corridor. When we are talking about connectivity in this region, you must mention this in your answer. Another point you write, Ashgabat Agreement. Ashgabat Agreement. ASHGABAT, Ashgabat Agreement. Ashgabat Agreement. This you will Google and understand. Okay. This is related to connectivity into the region. INSTC and Ashgabat Agreement. This could be asked in your prelims examination also. Basically, just I'm giving you a glimpse of it. On one hand, China is making, Silk Route, okay, Maritime Silk Route or BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, OBOR project. Similarly, to counter that OBOR or BRI project, India is having INSTC. To counter BRI project, what other things? Understand, it is important for us to know these things because UPSC has focused on few keen areas. China is doing two things into BRI. One thing, they are making roads, infrastructure for the connectivity. Connectivity is one point. Another point is building infrastructures. Building infrastructures like Hambantota Port. Okay. Now, if we want to counter China's this project, what we want to do? We want to do two things similarly. We want to build connectivity and we want to build infrastructure. So do you understand? Already world is doing two things. If I ask you, what one is INSTC, International North-South Transit Corridor, for the connectivity purpose. Here, like European countries are part of it also. Baku Port, Azerbaijan, the route is like this only. Second thing about the infrastructure, what the world is doing, P3W, Build Back Better World by European Union. P3W, Build Back Better World. And Blue Dot Network and Blue Dot Network. But just note it down. These are certain things that you will understand later on. Okay, Blue Dot Network. These you can write it in two perspectives. One is about connectivity and another is about infrastructure. Infrastructure, B3W, Build Back Better World, and Blue Dot Network. Shall I write it down or understood? So my point is that in your prelims examination also, because we are having this integrated model, understanding the whole of the topic, in your prelims examination, UPSC is too much. They have asked twice this question, OBOR project is related to which country? Now they are very much interested in understanding whether the present aspirant understands that what steps have been taken to counter it. Therefore, B3W project is important for examination. Okay. 3-4 years news is extremely important. So last year only this happened, B3W. And Blue Dot Network also, understand INSTC is important for prelims examination. From which countries it is passing. Okay. Now, because we have discussed challenges, now we'll talk about way forward. In this way forward, write down this secure. This was coined by PM, Prime Minister. This solution was promoted by us, secure. Security for citizen, economic development. This is an acronym basically. S means security for citizen, E means economic development, C means connectivity, U means unity, respect. What do you mean by respect? That India should start respecting China. What do you mean by respect? If I say respect, good, good, very good, very good. Basically, right, respect for sovereignty and integrity. Then environmental protection. E means environmental protection. Write down, if India wants to make SEO relevant, if India wants to make SEO relevant, we need strategic autonomy. We need strategic autonomy. Economic strength and military strength. Strategic autonomy, economic strength, and military strength. So actually, basically, US follows this model: economic strength plus military strength. This is US model of, foreign diplomacy. We are economically a superpower, and then military wise we are very strong. But for India, you understand, we want that thing. But right now, in the beginning itself, I told you the elephant cannot dance with the dragon right now. Okay. Point is that therefore India needs one thing extra, that is strategic autonomy. Strategic, it is a strategic situational autonomy. We are not dependent on anyone. Why we are into so many groups? We are saying to the China led SCO that we are not totally dependent on you. We are also saying to United States of America that we are not totally dependent on you. For example, in the Quad, India is so close to the US. In the G20 meet, see that more than 100 delegates from the US itself are coming to India. Okay, that is showcasing the close relationship between India and US. But in the reality, in the fact, what things are happening? India imports largest arms and ammunitions from which country? Russia, not from the US. Comcasa, Lemoa, Beka, of course, we have signed with US. But right now, still in the present reality, we want to have very good relations, all-weather friend Russia, with Russia. You're getting the point? This is called as strategic autonomy. On one hand, we are close with US also. On the other hand, simultaneously, we are very close with Russia. SU dominated Russia also. This is what is needed for India right now. Strategic autonomy. Okay. Therefore, strategic autonomy plus economic strength plus military strength. Now, next point. For the Indian Ocean region, Sagar, for the Indian Ocean region, SAGAR in the capitals, Sagar Doctrine. Full form is security and growth for all in the region. Security and growth for all in the region. Now you write Samarkand outcomes in the way forward itself. Samarkand outcomes. Or you can write Samarkand meet outcomes also. First is double peace. Double peace means inside and outside peace in Afghanistan. Inside and outside peace in Afghanistan. Second point is Russia-India club on de-dollarization. Russia-India club on de-dollarization. Rejecting economic sanctions of USA. Third point is Varanasi became cultural capital of SEO. Understood? So SEO was completed, Shanghai Cooperation Organization in detail. I hope any question related to prelims or mains you can now clearly do in the examination without any doubts. Okay. So let's start. how we will be proceeding, because monthly magazine everyone is getting of Shunya. Okay. Now in this there are two things. One is called as topic wise. Another thing is called as source wise. We will be proceeding topic wise. In this topic wise, it is divided into some things called as environment, schemes, international relations, and so on, economic development, and so on. Okay. So today we are starting schemes. And here also, in these schemes, what we will be doing is we will be covering most of the important schemes over here. So that what will happen in the later on, like we will be completing the whole current affairs. Later on, we will be clubbing all the schemes together. Okay, just like the magazine, Samadhan magazine is there. We will be covering all the schemes together so that you understand it in a holistic perspective. What schemes are there? What ministries are there? Sometimes tri-ministerial schemes are also there. Okay. With respect to international relations, some topics will be repetitive. It's all the time in the news. Every month in the news you will find. So these topics will also be clubbed over here. And moreover, one thing for your prelims examination, before starting these topics, I'll be giving you a little bit brief about how to proceed. For example, international relations already I have explained, but I'll explain it once again. Like tomorrow, we'll be having international relations related topic. How specific you have to be for prelims examination. See, we are going integrated mains come prelims. This is extremely important because in the examination, it's your intuitive learning. Just like if I ask in your, when you are sleeping, if I ask you, what is your address, home address? Anyone could tell me? Sure. Are you revising it daily? It is imbibed right now. Similarly, see, the syllabus looks huge, syllabus looks vast. But when we will understand exactly what to focus in this syllabus, this 80-20 rule is there. 80-20 rule. The syllabus might seem like so huge, but if you understand to focus on this 20%, this which is extremely important for this examination, particularly prelims examination, then easily you can capture over this 80%. Okay, so I'll be giving you certain directions that you should be proceeding with this particular issues, how to understand like government schemes, what needs to be focused, then international relations, what needs to be focused, so that things are on your tips. Understand one more thing. There is a tendency in students generally I find in this stage of preparation that I will study everything under the sun. I will study. Nothing should be left in my preparation. But what happens? Genuinely, I'm telling you, every year it happens. In the month of Feb and March, you are not able to digest that information. You vomit it out. Human brain has a limited capacity. You cannot process all the information. You are not made, human brain is not made to consume all the information out there. Strategically, you have to consume information. What is relevant, what is not relevant. See, you have seen the previous year's paper, how it was designed. In the last class itself, I told you they want to be unpredictable. This is not by any mistake they are making such paper. They want to be unpredictable. They want you to develop a knack of question solving rather than just mugging up certain facts. So while understanding schemes also, I don't want that you just mug up everything that okay, this was the outlay of the scheme, this is that. Point is, you have to understand why schemes are. First of all, today we'll start schemes. I'll go to it also. But the point is, you have to be very specific in understanding. In prelims also understanding. Then you will find this fact, cramming fact becomes very easy in the later on times. Okay. So our focus in the class will be to cover the magazine's most important topics. And once 1 month magazine, for example, we have started May magazine. Once the magazine is done, what I'll be doing is for 30-40 minutes, I'll let you go through the magazine, what topics are important, what not, what you need to focus, so that you just cover it in the class itself. You feel confident about it, so that when January, February is there, you are very sure that you have completed the magazines. Cool? Okay. Now about the schemes, government schemes. every year you will find 2 to 3, sometimes 2 questions, sometimes 3 questions are there. Why UPSC is asking about these government schemes? First of all, let's get to the root cause. These questions we are not asking ourselves. We are just into the rat race of preparation. Okay, this is coming and we will prepare. This is what is happening. Why UPSC is interested in these government schemes? Because tomorrow you will join the executive and you will be actually involved in the two process, one formulating government schemes and executing the government scheme. Here in the government schemes, particularly in prelims, 3 types of questions are being asked. See, government schemes, its utility in whole of the examination process, prelims 2 to 3 questions in your prelims will come. In the mains examination, if you remember this scheme, they are helpful in substantiating the arguments. Substantiating the arguments. Examples, government schemes. For example, if I am writing any answer related to renewable energy, I can talk about Kusum scheme. You're getting my point. But what happens for prelims, we are studying in a separate zone. For mains, when mains is nearby, we forget all the government schemes. So right now only understand that what is the utility of this government scheme, which sector it belongs to. Financial inclusion, in the economic development, we are writing whole of the answers. But there we are not talking about Aadhaar enabled payment. Okay. Then in your interview or personality test, means you understand, prelims, they have 3 important perspectives to ask questions. In your interview, they will be typically asking you about the budget, the schemes which has been launched in the budget, and they are interested in the outlay of the scheme. How much money has been allocated for this particular scheme? They will ask you about it. For that, you have to read the exact numbers. 500 crore, 600 crore, 2000 crore, scheme 2.2, what has been the difference between scheme, for example, FAME scheme had been there. Okay, FAME 1, FAME 2.0, Swachh Bharat Mission 1, Swachh Bharat 2.0, what has been the differences that they will be asking here. In your prelims examination, 2 types of questions particularly UPSC is asking. First question is acronym based question. Acronym based questions. They will give an acronym of a scheme. START scheme, often seen in news, is related to space sector, okay, computers and electronics, biotechnology. Then there is a confusion. Like Swayam, they have already asked this scheme in 2016. So acronym based questions so that you can just decode it. Second, they are asking the questions related to objectives of the scheme. Like Poshan Abhiyan, National Nutrition Mission, they have asked the question. Objectives of the scheme. Note it down. In every class, I will not tell you because today we are going to deal with the schemes, objectives of the scheme. Now what happens? Where is the catch in the objectives? Catch kahan hai? Bahut simple si baat hai. This is so simple to understand. Objectives they are asking. Now write down objectives in this. What they play with you. If you understand this thing, schemes is done. You don't need to do a lot of labor, hard pain labor in the government schemes. For example, there is a scheme 1, there is a scheme 2. 2 schemes. Why do we need scheme 2 if scheme 1 is already there? Because scheme 2 has somewhere a different objective. Unless and until 2 schemes have different objectives, we don't need 2 schemes. एक simple सा aptitude है ये understanding का. You're getting my point? Simple aptitude. UPSC is interested into that aptitude, that whether today's aspirant can distinguish between the objectives of 2 schemes. Basically, what will happen while reading so many schemes, you will find that most of the objectives are overlapping. सब देख के लगता है सेम ही बात कर रहे हैं, अच्छी बात कर रहे हैं. All the schemes are going good. They are talking about sustainable development. This will become good. That will become good. Like Swachh Bharat Mission, smart cities. Most of the objectives are same. Understood? But still, UPSC will play with you on the distinguishing factors. If two schemes are there, understand, we are doing, why government is launching scheme? To create some betterment into the society, upliftment of social, economic, political indicators. But what is the objective one specific of this scheme, objective two specific of this scheme? Now what will happen in the examination? The question will be, they will say that we have a scheme. Okay, this scheme is S2. What are the objectives of it? In the options O1, O2, O3, they will make. All three will be good. And then you are confused in the examination. You will say that all of the three are the objectives. And I will show you with UPSC questions. This has been happening. Here you have to be very specific in choosing the objective of the government scheme. Here you have to say that S2, the objective is O2. Got it? Simple mathematical match the column, it is there. Aptitude is there, that okay, this is the objective of a different scheme, that you have to recognize in the exam. Got it? Third thing they asked is about beneficiary of the scheme. Beneficiary of the schemes. Here in this beneficiary, for example, the question they have asked is about 2-3 questions like Manrega. They have asked who are the beneficiaries of Manrega. The question was there in UPSC. You can Google it out, you will find. Then they have asked the beneficiary related to PM Mudra scheme. 2016 they have asked this question. Then they have asked question related to about the beneficiary in NALSA Act. 5-6 options were there. I think in 2020 they asked this question. Okay. So who are the beneficiaries? Now why we are interested into beneficiary? Why UPSC? In your mains governance, the topic is about optimization of resources and designing and implementation of the government schemes, of the programs, how they are being designed and implemented. See, ultimate goal of government scheme is about welfare state. We are a welfare state. Here you have to understand that how to target the beneficiary. Unless and until we devise certain methodology to reach particular individuals, we cannot target them, we cannot give them the benefits out of it. Therefore, it will create problem for us. Therefore, government is interested, UPSC is interested, whether you are able to appreciate what are the different means and methods to target our beneficiaries to avoid the exclusion errors. Cool. Beneficiaries, you understood? These three things are extremely important for your government schemes based questions. Mostly from here only they are asking. One thing more they are asking is about ministry, which ministry it belongs to. And most of the students think that ministry always given in the examination is wrong. It is not so. Many times it is correct also. Ministry you can write. Okay, ministry. So while we are going through the government schemes, we have to focus on these particular things. In all the government schemes, you keep a tab on them. So first topic is about the STARS program. This is not a very important scheme, but match the column they will give you, STARS program, because this is acronym. For prelims, it is important, extremely important. You can write on strengthening teaching and learning and results for states. STARS program. Write down the ministry of it. Ministry of Education. Previously, it was HRD, Human Resource Development Ministry. Now it is Ministry of Education. In the ministry, we have departments. Department of School Education and Literacy. Centrally sponsored scheme. It is centrally sponsored scheme. Also, it has financial assistance of World Bank. Financial assistance of World Bank. Basically, two things are important about this scheme. Under this STARS program, strengthening teaching, learning, and results for states. Now, I'm not going deep into this topic because I'm taking it for prelims. While we'll discuss education sector in the mains, I'll make you understand more things. Just understand that STARS program is in India is having poor pupil to teacher ratio in India. Therefore, certain initiatives, PME Vidya, digital education, okay, foundational literacy and numeracy mission, national curricular and pedagogical framework for early childhood care, education as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. And this is, see what kind of statement will be given in your examination, that STARS program is applicable throughout the India. It is for all of the states. Simple statement. At least you should be able to recognize it. It is not applicable to all of the India. It is particularly for 6 identified states. One contradictory or counterintuitive fact is Kerala, because their learning outcomes are very high already, but still we have chosen Kerala into it. So just in your mind, you feel that, okay, Kerala is also part of STARS program. Now, when you have written this point here in prelims, the best way of remembering, understand, prelims, right now we are going slowly, so you will find easy hai, yaad rakhna. Later on, abhi aaj se ye habit dalo, make it a habit. It will take certain time, 2 to 3 classes to develop this habit, where you will be utilizing this topic in your mains examination. This is how you can remember it. Remember it in a way that will fetch you marks in the mains as well. Remembering is what happens that we cram only for prelims. We find that prelims we have crammed, we'll mark the test booklets, and we'll get marks, we'll be happy. And for the mains, we'll restart the preparation, only that. The best way to remember the STARS program is about, mark it somewhere, education sector governance. Bracket, you can write governance. So whenever you are reading about it, it will be in your brain all the time. You are writing any answer, any article related to education, you will definitely mention about STARS program. Basically here it was for 5 years up to 24-25. In the prelims, I expect that the simple question will be coming from this paper. STARS program often seen in news is related to what? Okay. So now tell me the answer. I know you people have not studied it, but this is what UPSC is asking. Swayam, an initiative of the Government of India, aims at. STARS program, an initiative of Government of India, aims at. They will give you options like this. D. Okay. Okay. I don't expect that everyone will be knowing its answer. My point is just see this kind of Swayam. Swayam means by self. So UPSC understands you are going to decode it. Self-help groups, first word they have given. This is how they are playing with your mind. How will you remember things? Swayam means self. Self-help group, first pointer. Most of the students will say A is the answer. Providing financial and technical assistance to young startup entrepreneurs. That time entrepreneurship was just getting, currency in India. Promoting the education and health of adolescent girls. This is objective of a different government scheme. Providing affordable and quality education to the citizens for free. This is the correct option. Basically, Swayam Prabha is the channel. Okay. For the MOOCs course. MOOCs means massive online open courses. Massive online open courses. Through that, Swayam Prabha channel was there for providing quality education. Therefore, they simply if you know the sector that it is related to education, you can mark it in the examination. Okay. समझ में आया कि क्या हमको याद रखना है थोड़ा सा. Space science and technology awareness training. This is basically for post graduation. Write down for PG, for postgraduates and final year undergraduate students. Target beneficiary is postgraduates and final year UG undergraduate students of physical sciences and technology. Write down this program will cover astrophysics, sun earth interaction, instrumentation, sun earth interaction instrumentation, and aerophysics. Okay. Basically what it is not a year long program or something like that. Okay. For some time we will create an awareness into our postgraduates, into our final year undergraduate students also. Therefore, we have Antariksh Jigyasa portal by the ISRO. Antariksh Jigyasa portal. Okay. Into the space sector, like I'll take a proper lecture on Chandrayaan 3. There I will explain you everything. What is the role of private sector? How India is leading to privatization over there. Okay, into that area. Now the ISRO is going to limit its role. Now ISRO is not going to launch all the satellites. Okay, we want private sector just like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and ISRO will limit its role to cutting edge technologies, just like Aditya L1 mission. Now our next focus is Aditya L1 mission. Okay. So what is happening here? This basically you understand whenever a program is launched, we have this is the like body ISRO has launched it. It is basically executed by these bodies like National Remote Sensing Center, NRSC. It has two permanent short courses over there. National Remote Sensing Center, it has also now two short courses. No need to remember these short courses, believe me. They will not be asking, don't even write it. Okay. Remote Sensing Data Acquisition and Remote Sensing. Understand NRSC just, National Remote Sensing Center. Hmm? Yes, yes, yes. What you are asking? Ministry of Space. Okay. Written? Done? हो गया? चलो थोड़ा सा फास्ट चलते हैं, लॉट मेनी टॉपिक्स आर देयर. आधार इनेबल्ड पेमेंट सिस्टम, एईपीएस. हाँ, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्पेस. एक्चुअली बेसिकली देखो, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एटॉमिक एनर्जी भी है, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्पेस भी है, ये सब पीएमओ के ही अंडर आता है डायरेक्टली. हाँ, मिनिस्ट्री मतलब वही मैंने बोल दिया कि ठीक है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ स्पेस बेसिकली. दीज बॉडीज कम्स डायरेक्टली अंडर पीएमओ. आधार इनेबल्ड पेमेंट सिस्टम, एईपीएस. These schemes are extremely important for us. These schemes are extremely important? Because they are going to promote financial inclusion. Just write down the heading. These are bank-led model. Now for the banking system, we know we want to have an inclusive system. Inclusive, financial inclusion has been our objective. Aadhaar enabled payment system, here like banking correspondent is there. Banking correspondent. In the remote lands, in the hinterlands of India, people are not aware about banking thing. Okay, they are like how to do banking using plastic cards. Okay, they are illiterate also. They cannot read the numbers properly. Therefore, they need a banking correspondent. BCs. They are called as BCs. Okay. So by just telling your bank name, for example, in the SBI, my account is there. I'll tell my Aadhaar card because it is already linked with my bank account. And then what will happen, because I don't need to tell my name, I don't need to tell the account number specifically, only by the Aadhaar card and bank name the banking correspondent can proceed with the transactions. Fingerprint or iris scan is required. Right now you will find that even the SIM card you are buying in the market, they need a fingerprint. Okay, it is linked to Aadhaar card. So this is how Aadhaar enabled payment system works, AEPS works. There was a direct question on AEPS, directly UPSC asked in 2017, I think, 2017 prelims. They directly asked that Aadhaar enabled payment system. So related to Aadhaar, 4 to 5 questions in the last 10 years have been asked by UPSC. So Aadhaar related things are extremely important. You understand how it is going to work. Now, there is a crucial point in it. Whenever I am going to link my Aadhaar card with my bank account, whenever I am going to link my Aadhaar card with my bank account, my whole biometric data is shared with the bank. It's a question to me because it's a right to privacy. There you will find that NPCI, basically the leading authority is NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. It is silent on it. Because we to perform this AEPS, Aadhaar enabled payment system, we do not need any extra permission. I don't need to give bank an extra permission. It is already automated. It means that my Aadhaar details have been shared with the bank. You understand the point? Now you write. So basically, with respect to the point of sale equipments, it is happening. Write down, it allows financial transactions. It allows financial transactions at point of sale and micro ATMs. At point of sale and micro ATMs through BCs, business correspondents of any bank using Aadhaar authentication. Only bank name, Aadhaar number, and fingerprint is required as per the NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. Ministry, you write Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Solve this question. Little bit of IQ. I would say that all the questions demand little bit of IQ. Raise your hands who have solved. C. B. Okay, C is also answer. B is also answer. What about you? B. Front row. A. Okay. Front row. C. Give it a try. Might be right or wrong. B. Okay, let's solve this question. Aadhaar metadata cannot be stored for more than 3 months. Understand what the statement is telling. Metadata means what? The data that has been collected from the fingerprints, iris scan. It cannot be stored for more than 3 months. If it is not Aadhaar card only one time you have made, or every 3 months you are going and making your Aadhaar card, your data once collected is stored unless and until it can be deleted. Unless and until you give consent, you ask them to delete that Aadhaar card data because of any issues, because of any reasons. It is stored. It is not stored for more than 3 months itself. It is stored for years and years. So first statement is of course wrong. State cannot enter into any contract with private corporations for sharing Aadhaar data. Yes, with private contractors. For example, if I talk about state like NPCI, NPCI is having certain data, biometric data of us. That's how it is linking with banks. But NPCI cannot come in contact with Meta or Facebook that I will share certain financial data or biometric data with you also. State cannot come in contact with private sectors. For example, I can give my Aadhaar card number to Google, to Facebook, Instagram, whatever I want to give, wherever I want to give. But state does not have that authority to share that data. Otherwise, it will be a conflict of interest itself. You getting my point? Therefore, the statement is correct. State cannot enter into a contract. In certain situation, in a particular case, a state may also give it, but contract basis it cannot give. Aadhaar is mandatory for obtaining insurance products. Is it mandatory for obtaining insurance products? No. I can say no. Aadhaar is mandatory only for one thing. It is mandatory, and even Supreme Court gave its uh, verdict for that, where it is mandatory. Aadhaar card, sharing your Aadhaar card details is mandatory while you are obtaining any government benefits. You are beneficiary of any scheme, government by law can ask for your Aadhaar card number. Similarly, you know, 1 year what happened that UPSC was asking specifically Aadhaar card number from the candidates, specifically. And next year, the verdict came from the Supreme Court. Now, UPSC is, while you are filling up your forms, UPSC is also giving you options, whether Aadhaar card or passport or like voter ID card. You can give different of documents. It is not mandatory that you will share only and only Aadhaar card. Aadhaar is mandatory for getting benefits funded out of the Consolidated Fund of India. Yes, here it is mandatory for us. So, B option is correct. Second and fourth. Good. कौन सा? Second statement. State cannot enter into any contract with private corporations for sharing Aadhaar data. Here it means that any private corporation, for example, if you are working in a private company, any private company, the state cannot come in contact. It means the state cannot sign an agreement that of all your employees, I am going to give you Aadhaar data. It is only you can give. You are the owner of your Aadhaar card right now. Otherwise, it will be a breach of your privacy by the state itself. Even when this Aadhaar bill was passed during 2016, okay, there was huge controversy regarding it. The Aadhaar, basically in the Congress times, the UIDI was established. UIDI only formed this Aadhaar card. Okay, UIDI. There was a controversy that this bill was introduced as finance bill. You know, this bill, Aadhaar card bill, was introduced as finance bill because by legitimate means it was not allowed to even passed, because state was thinking, the parliamentarians were thinking that state might use it for the wrong means. State might become Orwellian state, surveillance state. Anyways, point is that we cannot have contact with the private organizations. National e-Vidhan application. First of all, most important is ministry. Please write the nodal ministry. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. Now we are having Digital India Mission. Okay, under the Digital India Mission, we are digitalizing the services, benefits, everything. We want to digitalize the digital house, basically. Digital house means what? House of Parliament we are talking, legislatures. So we want to make the legislatures digital house. Under this National e-Vidhan application, 44 mission mode projects, small projects are there. Right now we want to go paperless. Write down. Aim is to make functioning of all state legislatures, emphasize the word all. State legislatures paperless by transforming them into, in the semicolons, into digital house. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? सिंपल स्कीम. Okay. Now you have seen the answers. Let's look at this question. Try to guess the answer. See, this is a question on what is the aim of or objective of Digital India. There are three options given. Done? Hmm? Okay. Hmm? C. Fast. Hmm? B. Now look at the question. Formation of India's own internet companies like China did. This is not objective of Digital India. Establishing a policy framework to encourage overseas multinational corporations that collect big data to build their large data centers within our national geographical boundaries. Okay, we want that. Do we want that from Digital India Mission, that like Google or Amazon should build better big centers in here in India only? No, connect many of our villages to the internet and bring Wi-Fi to many of our schools, like PM Wani. Wi-Fi network for that scheme is there. NOFN, National Optical Fiber Network scheme is there. Public places, major tourist centers. This is one of the objectives. 9 pillars. There are 9 pillars of Digital India, of which one is about connecting. See, this will happen in the examination, that you may find these all. Second and third was little bit confusing, what I understand, for the students. But objective, aim, we have to be very matlab, strictly clear about it. FAME 2 scheme. FAME. Write down the full form of FAME. Faster adoption, and manufacturing, bracket में write hybrids. Faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles. ठीक है. Here, what confusion most of the students have, in the previous year also they had in the examination, is we are talking about electric vehicles. Okay, electric vehicles, EVs. Basically, National Mobility Plan. This is a scheme under the National Mobility Plan, how the commutation should be done. When we talk about EVs, generally students think EVs will work on electricity, more cleaner form of technology from right now what we are having. Therefore, the ministry they find in the examination is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, which is wrong. It is not under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. It is under the Ministry of Heavy Industries. Please remember. Ministry of Heavy Industries. Previously, what target we had, we had so ambitious target, 100% EV by 2030. 100% EV by 2030. Right now, we are having a realistic target in FAME 2.0. This is 30%, more than 30% EVs. It is actually more than 30% EVs by 2030. This is our target. Our Minister Nitin Gadkari in an interview said that now only EVs will be there. After that, there was the share market for the Maruti Suzuki. They all, got fumbled. People were like, what will happen? Because Maruti was not investing into EVs. Later on, it brought Nexa. Point is that 30% of EVs, it is possible because electric vehicles are mostly dependent on lithium ion battery, which India does not have. We want to import these technologies. Moreover, one of the counter arguments related to FAME or EVs is that ultimately from where you are getting the electricity, from fossil fuel. It is not solar energy, it's not a renewable energy. Ultimately from fossil only you are getting electricity and you are charging your vehicles. The only thing with the EVs that you are going to save is not the carbon dioxide out there. It's not decarbonization, pollution, air pollution you are going to save. Moreover, what we can do is while resolving the problems of pollution, we talk about point source. Whenever a pollution is from a point source, for example, a big thermal power plant is there, we can put scrubbers, catalytic converters to reduce the pollution. But when the point source is diffused, for example, different vehicles are there. You find many vehicles on the road which are more than 10 years old, but still people are using it. They are creating a lot of air pollution. This is what we are going to save. But this is not, one option might be given in your examination. This will enormously decarbonize and help in achieving the targets of climate change. But this will not actually. Okay, now write down. The main objective is to encourage, the main objective is to encourage faster adoption of electric and hybrid vehicles, by market creation and indigenization, means in-house manufacturing, indigenization. Second point, indigenization. Second point is electrification of the public and shared transport. Electrification of the public and shared transport. Third point, promote local manufacturing. By providing special incentives, promote local manufacturing by providing special incentives for critical components. Like lithium-ion batteries. Okay. Now, basically, we want that entire EV value chain. Value chain, you understand? Value chain. From one point, from manufacturing to the charging unit stations at different places, just like petrol pumps we are having, the entire value chain is there. Your product is manufactured from the port, we are bringing crude oil, we are refining it. Then in the petrol pumps, it is available. Similarly, the value chain, EV, what is happening? We are purchasing even the like lot of scooties are there right now, electric vehicle, but value chain, there are no charging stations, public charging stations. These days in Delhi, we have opened, but not on the highways. So we want to create entire value chain from it. And what government did just to the contrary, देखो, इसमें what one option in your examination or objective is the prelims. Incentives are given, yes or no? Yes or no? Incentives are given. Previously, when the FAME scheme was launched, there were very high incentives for the lithium-ion batteries. But right now, government understood people are manufacturing, people are buying, people are interested. Therefore, in the FAME 2, basically what has happened, incentives have been reduced. You will find it difficult in the examination that government wants to, increase the incentives. Write down. Recently, government has reduced subsidy on electric vehicles in FAME 2. Recently, government has reduced subsidy on electric vehicles under FAME 2. Next is IDEX initiative. NEMP. This is basically National Electric Mobility Portal. There we had a policy of National Electric Mobility Policy, but for that what happens? We have to provide these kind of different portals. IDEX initiative, Ministry of Defense. Write down the aim of it: self-reliance and foster innovation technology development in defense, aerospace by engineering industries, including MSMEs and startups. See, defense sector, we have a lot of focus because of the CPRI report. थोड़ा सा context समझ लेते हैं. CPRI report is there, which says that India is the world's largest importer of arms and ammunition. World's largest importer. Therefore, right now we want to indigenize the technology. We are importing everything from Rafale, you can see. We are not in-house manufacturing, or Sukhoi or MiG from Russia. And Pakistan is taking F-16 from US. But we want to indigenize the technology. For that, we are having defense corridors also. One in UP and another in which state? Tamil Nadu. Very good. Okay. So IDEX initiative, they might ask you in the examination. IDEX, it's not a military exercise. It is about basically Atmanirbhar in defense sector. We want to become Atmanirbhar in defense sector. Just like public sector undertakings, like PWD is a department. Okay, IOCL is a public sector undertaking. Similarly, we have defense public sector undertaking also. EPSUs, just like HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, and Bharat Electronics Limited, BEL. Now, what has happened? These two bodies, these PSUs have made DIO, Defense Innovation Organization. These two bodies, these two DPSUs have made Defense Innovation Organization, DIO. And basically, DIO, under this DIO, the executive arm is IDEX. समझ में आ रहा है? Feeling sleepy? The executive arm is IDEX, Innovation for Defense Excellence. And this, because they are formed by PSUs already, it is a non-profit organization company under the Companies Act 2013. Even you don't remember Section 8, it is fine. Under the Companies Act 2013, it has been formed. Basically, what we are going to do here, any guess? What? This is the initiative IDEX. We want to make ourselves Atmanirbhar over there. What we are going to do actually? There UPSC is interested. We करना कैसे है? BrahMos has been, okay, I got the point. That Brahmaputra and Moscow are river, we have collaborated with Russia for that matter. But this was a collaboration. Here we are talking about Atmanirbhar. In the BrahMos also we were not Atmanirbhar. We took the technology from them. Therefore, we could not raise our limit above 300 kilometers. In the beginning, the limit was 270, 290 kilometers. unless and until we got the MTCR membership. That is good. Basically, understand. I wanted you to think about it. Here, what will happen? We will provide funds. We will provide funds. Statement will be given in your question paper. We are going to fund the startups and MSMEs in the beginning. Okay, through this initiative. If, for example, manufacturing of defense goods is extremely tough, not just strategic, it is tough also. Tough in terms of returns. Long gestation period is there. Lot of R&D will be done over there. Therefore, they need funds for long-term investment. Similarly, through this IDEX initiative, we are going to fund these startups. Write down. Financial support is provided to startups, MSMEs, individual innovators and partner incubators through DIO, Defense Innovation Organization, through DIO, Defense Innovation Organization. Got the point? What it is going to do? It is basically going to fund them. And right now, more than 200 contracts have already been signed. Just understand, for perspective I am giving you, because you might not be understanding. Boeing, you know, Boeing aircraft, okay? Do you know any showroom here in India where Rolls-Royce is presented? Rolls-Royce is a very good car. Which showroom you will find Rolls-Royce? In the CP, is there any showroom? In the Gurgaon, is there any showroom for the Rolls? Huh? One in? Rolls-Royce showroom is there. Okay. But actually, it might be parked over there, but Rolls showroom, okay, it's a news for me then. But generally what happens that, just like Boeing aircraft, you know, the Rolls-Royce are parked nearby aircrafts, the private jets, because the people who is going to own the private jets are the people who can afford Rolls-Royce. Boeing became such big, all the aircrafts, whether it is SpiceJet, Go Air, most of them are Boeing. They were backed by the state governments. They were backed by the United States of America. You get my point? Therefore, India also understood one thing, that we need to back the small incubators, small innovators. Today, if we start investing in them some money, tomorrow, just like ISRO, by Vikram Sarabhai started, then, you know, the parts were carried on bicycle. Parts were being carried on the bicycle in the beginning itself. Right now, we are, even one payload of USA we have carried there in the Chandrayaan. Similarly, state needs to invest in this long gestational projects, defense sector or space sector. Therefore, we are ready to give funds here also in the defense sector. Moreover, it will have two ways benefit. India will be exporting. Right now also we are exporting defense products. Okay, India will be exporting these technologies. We will be earning a lot of money from there. Okay. Second thing, our defense capabilities, because defense is a strategic subject. If we have, for example, if we have any technology from Russia or US can anytime manipulate it. Defense sector technologies also. Or it can match by giving the same technology to our enemy countries. Therefore, we need to invest into these sectors. Therefore, therefore it is important for us to, you know, understand this IDEX initiative. Hence, our government is, you know, vigorously investing money into the defense sector. We will find 2-3 news more with respect to it. Project Dantak. Simple question will come in the examination. Project Dantak. Write down Bhutan. To build, basically Project Dantak is to build, write down, to build and construct, the pioneering motorable roads, pioneering motorable roads in Bhutan. Okay, pioneering motorable roads in Bhutan. Now understand one thing. This project is led by Border Road Organization. It is under which ministry? BRO. Hmm? Home. Home Ministry. It is under Ministry of Defense. Write down. Ministry of Defense. Not Home Ministry. Similarly, basically what we are doing here, understand our policy, understand. If you understand the policy, these are the substantiating points. Now, whenever Indo-China, Indo-Bhutan relations are there, you can write about Project Dantak over there. याद रहेगा उस टाइम पे, or we will just study in a different perspective. Remember Project Dantak, Indo-China relations or Indo-Bhutan relations. We need to mention that. Similarly, it is by BRO. Remember this, Ministry of Defense. Similarly, we have Vibrant Villages program. Vibrant Villages program. हाँ क्या या किलोमीटर तो मुझे नहीं पता. I have not seen the kilometers, but it is along the Bhutan. Basically, lot of development. Airport will be developed over there. Highway will be developed. Motorable bike will. Basically, tourism sector. We want to have more connectivity. Okay. अच्छा अच्छा. Now, Vibrant Villages program. This is also on the borders, northern borders. Social and security framework along the China border. You have seen the map of India here. Arunachal Pradesh is there. Arunachal Pradesh is there. Now, what is happening? Even nearby Pakistan also we are developing vibrant villages. Okay. This is done by ITBP. Somewhere note down ITBP, not by BRO. ITBP. Basically what we are doing. Ultimately, we want to contain the China. For that, what difficulty what we are facing right now, for example, if you go to the Kashmir regions, Kishtwar regions, we find difficulty in connectivity because localites are also not very helpful sometimes. Therefore, Government of India is thinking that small villages near the borders we want to develop, so that tomorrow if our defense forces need any support from the local peoples, if the villages are developed by the ITBP, they are going to support our defense forces. Moreover, just like Wagha border you all know, from Amritsar, nearby Amritsar. Okay, we go there for tourism. We enjoy. Okay, the other side is Pakistan. We can see through the border. Similarly, tomorrow it can be promoted as tourism to earn revenue. If I'm talking here in the previous slide, we talked about Bhutan. Bhutan is giving, slapping so much of tax, sustainable development tax. Every day, if you are going to, visit Bhutan. Similarly, here we can earn revenue. Revenue, it will lead to the development of the border regions. Moreover, it will support our defense needs. Therefore, we have Vibrant Villages program. This is under which ministry? MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs. The role of Gram Panchayat you can highlight over here. It is important. Similarly, here what they are saying, objective basically hub and spoke model through promotion of social entrepreneurship, empowerment of youth, women. These all are कहनी पड़ती है सारी बातें. Basically, it's for security purpose. Okay, for security, we want to develop vibrant villages. Eco-agri businesses, because if you want to develop those places, you need to have certain business, livelihood opportunities. Identify and develop the economic drivers based on local, natural, basically tourism. We are going to promote two objectives you remember very clearly. One objective is tourism, another objective is security. And matching hub and spoke model. Hub and spoke model, you understand what it is? Hub and spoke model. Okay. So in this is just like these are the spokes. Okay. Bicycle you have seen. Okay. At one nodal point, every spoke meets. All the needs are supplemented by one. Similarly, if Arunachal border we are seeing, here we will have a hub and we will have spokes through different places. Get my point? So connectivity needs will be met. Okay. Whether it be funds for the infrastructure, particular connectivities are required for certain points, then we can go for it. Tourism potential. Carbon, this is important for the examination. Carbon offsetting, CORSIA, carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation. First heading you write down ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, and write ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization. You are given this heading. First, we are going to talk about ICAO. It was established in 1947, EST 1947, by Chicago Convention. By Chicago Convention. Headquarter is in Montreal, Canada. अब थोड़ा समझते हैं पहले है क्या ये, what it is. Okay, what it is. Basically, Paris Climate Deal, we will talk about it in detail sometime, but Paris Climate Deal, our objective is to reduce carbon dioxide and reduce global temperatures from rising. This is basic idea behind it, basic, very basic. Okay. Now, for that, we are doing in our capacity what not we can do. First important change, now you have to understand carbon credits, Kyoto Protocol, lot of things are happening. But one thing is about Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol, you understand? It is related to ozone gas depletion. Okay, ozone. Now, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, these are the ozone depleting substances. ODS, we call ozone depleting substances. Montreal Protocol, till now, our focus, just before 2 years, our focus was to reduce carbon dioxide, only to reduce carbon dioxide, carbon credits, carbon offsetting, carbon sequestration, these kind of words we were discussing. Now, world understood, okay, let's reduce carbon. But also let's understand one more thing. Apart from this carbon dioxide, where else we are producing such gases which are having high global warming potential? Therefore, here in the Montreal Protocol, non-ODS substances having high global warming potential also we wanted to eliminate. समझ में आया? आएगा जब ODS पढ़ेंगे तो you will understand it. Similarly, aviation industry. अब तक कोई नहीं बात कर रहा था इस पे. कॉर्सिया तो अभी आया 1-2 साल पहले. Till now, nobody even was talking about aviation because so less flights are there. Right now, you will find that World Bank report came and it has been targeting on shipping industry also. Shipping industry. The worst form, the crudest form of oil is used by shipping industry. Aviation use ATF, air turbine fuel, which is still very good quality kerosene. ATF, air turbine fuel. But what we are doing, basically our objective is going forward tomorrow, because right now India has Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik scheme, okay, regional connectivity scheme we are having. Going forward tomorrow, aviation industry is going to boom like anything. Therefore, if from now, from the beginning itself, we don't want to decarbonize this industry, tomorrow it will be very late. For that, Corsia scheme is there. Got it? Similarly, we are targeting shipping industry. It will come in the picture sometime or the later. So ultimate goal is Paris climate deal. Now, here in the Corsia, what is happening? Pilot phase 2001 to 2023, it was a pilot phase, testing phase, how we can reduce the carbon dioxide production. First phase, India said, I am a developing nation. अभी मुझे और एरोप्लेन उड़ाने दो. I am a developing nation. I am not going to cut out on anything. So India did not participate in the first phase. Now India said that second phase I will participate, 2027 to 2035. The objective of Corsia is that by 2050, we want to make the aviation industry carbon neutral. Carbon neutral. And this second phase is basically called as long-term aspirational goals, LTAG, long-term aspirational goals. कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ गया क्या है, क्यों है, क्यों, why we are dealing with this sector? See, this was a question regarding carbon credits. Which one of the following statement is not correct? Okay, answer is there, it's okay. Carbon credit system was ratified in conjunction with the Kyoto Protocol, because it is like 2011 question, I know you can, but just understand carbon credits, and this is an important sector where UPSC is interested. Carbon credits are awarded to the countries or groups that have reduced greenhouse gases below their emission quota. There was a concept of emission quota, you will study about it. The goal of carbon credit system is to limit the increase of carbon dioxide emission. True, all these statements are true. What is not true is carbon credits are traded at a price fixed. First of all, it is not fixed. From time to time by the UNEP. Now, UNEP is not going to decide the price of it. The respective countries, basically it is decided per metric ton of CO2 equivalent that is released, CO2 equivalent that is released. Deep ocean mission. Just like deep space mission we are planning, we are also planning for deep ocean mission. Deep space mission, what vehicle we are making to go into the deep space? Gaganyaan. Gaganyaan. Okay. For deep ocean mission, what vehicle we are making? Samudrayaan. Okay, Samudrayaan. Samudrayaan, deep ocean mission. Man is selfish by nature. ऐसे में टॉपिक आएगा, जरूर लिखना कि अब हम गगनयान और समुद्रयान बना के हमने कुछ नहीं छोड़ा है. Everything we need. Territorial land. Now we have see post-industrial revolution. What has happened? We have moved to different countries. New countries were discovered. Even new islands were discovered. No, nothing we have left on the land. Now we want to go deep into the ocean and deep into the space. Problem is, this will disturb our blue economy. Blue economy, see, in the beginning, we always say that we are going for the good cause, for the fisheries value chain. Matsya Sampada Yojana is also a scheme. Matsya Sampada Yojana. We'll talk about it later. This blue economy, there, like International Seabed Authority from the ISA, India has got the permit to extract polymetallic sea nodules from the Indian Ocean region. So India is thinking, wow, it's a great opportunity. We will make a Samudrayan, we will go deep into the ocean and we will dredge. By dredging, you understand? By dredging into the deep ocean, you will release a lot of heat into the, and that will affect the marine biodiversity, their habitat. Already marine heat waves are there because of CO2 level that we have created. Now, if you are going deep into the ocean and create dredging activities, lot of heat will be generated. Okay. Similarly, what things we are telling? We are basically telling it will be helpful in harnessing renewable energy. Okay, because of the temperature difference. OTEC technology, you understand OTEC technology, ocean thermal. Okay, because of difference in the temperature. That also we will discuss. Smart shipping to lessen the impacts on the environment. Is inclusive, improves the lives of all because sustainable fishing activities will be done, which is a sarcasm. Sustainable fishing activities creates jobs and reduce poverty and ends hunger because the livelihood opportunities will be more, and on top of that, food value chain in the food will be there. Conserves marine life and oceans. Better is not to disturb them. Deep sea mining, this is our mission. We are going to mine underwater vehicles and underwater robotics. Therefore, environmentalists are bitterly criticizing us. Which ministry? Understand, not Ministry of Shipping. Most of the students will mark Ministry of Shipping. It is Ministry of Earth Science. Ministry of Earth Science is going to take this project. And United Nations understands its importance. Therefore, they have declared 21 to 2030 as the decade of ocean science for sustainable development. United Nations has declared 21 to 2030 as the decade of ocean science for sustainable development. So what is called as deep ocean? Like deep ocean mission we are talking about. Write down, ocean below 200 meters is called as deep ocean. Ocean below 200 meters is called as deep ocean. You have written this from the International Seabed Authority. We have got the permission for polymetallic sea nodules extraction. Basically, for that only we are having this deep ocean mission. PMS means polymetallic sea nodules. They have different types of metals, minerals into it. Tell me the answer. After this, we'll have last topic. National Water Mission is properly and completely implemented, how it will impact the country. Tell me the answer. B. B. Hmm. B. देखो, first and second correct. Third, all the rivers of Himalayan origin will be linked to the rivers of peninsular India. This is not our objective. Also, we don't want that thing to happen. The expenses incurred by farmers for activities will be completely reimbursed by the government. Right now, also, it is not happening, and we cannot reimburse all that money. So, these two statements are definitely wrong. Correct answer is B. Reduce, recycle, and reuse centers. Write down the ministry basically. Ministry of Urban, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Mahua. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. देखो, ये एक पर्सपेक्टिव आज से हमको डेवलप कर लेना है. रूरल एरियाज हैव डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम, लाइक दे हैव प्रॉब्लम्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू कनेक्टिविटी, दे हैव प्रॉब्लम्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू इंटरनेट, दे हैव प्रॉब्लम्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू एजुकेशन, हेल्थ. Urban areas have different set of problems like air pollution, water pollution, waste generation. Okay, so whenever these reuse, which area, which part of the India needs more reuse, more recycling? Urban area. For one plate of momos we make this much of trash. No, we ask for tissue papers. Tissue paper, you know, for the making of the tissue paper, a lot of water is being wasted. But in the rural areas, they are not creating that much amount of trash. So this, what will happen in the examination? Why I told you this? In the examination, the reuse, recycle and reuse centers, reduce, recycle and reuse centers will be established all across the India. No, in the rural areas, we don't need them. What will happen here? For example, your used clothes, used shoes. What we are doing right now, in the black polythene, we are putting, and in the morning when the person comes, क्या कहते हैं उनको? कचरे वाले भैया. This is also wrong. This is about nudging into the society. We should call them safai wale bhaiya. He is not kachre wale bhaiya. We are kachre wale guys. We create those things. Therefore, there is also a government scheme for that. Safai karmchari. Okay, they are safai wale bhaiya, but we have given them the tag of kachre wale bhaiya. This is a problem. So these things are needed in the urban centers. Why I am giving you such examples so that you remember. This is with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Strengthen citizens to resolve, reduce and reuse, recycle different materials. Write down. It will be a one-stop center. It will be a one-stop center where citizens can deposit, old clothes, books, toys and plastics that can be reused and recycled. Next thing you write, it is under the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0. It is under Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0. Okay then. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Any doubts?